Raise it bit by bit. Okay.
Let me tell you about the proto culture.
If you don't know the culture, here's the whole structure.
We had enough of the lackluster. Trust us, we get the kind of games you can win in Blockbuster.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to episode 8 of the Hashtag Blackout Podcast. I'm Jared, a.k.a. the Diamond Cutter Jabroni, and I'm here with Jay, the Jigsaw Serafino. What's up, Jay?
Hey, what's going on?
Oh, man, yeah. We're going to get into those AKAs in a second. How's your week been, brother?
It's been wonderful. Just very long, just trying to relax, enjoy my weekend off, my 3-day weekend. How about you?
Same here, man. Same here. Not too much, just laying low pretty much for the whole weekend. I'm actually working on a pork shoulder for Memorial Day. So,
nice.
Yeah, man, hopefully if the video comes out nice, I'm going to be uploading to YouTube. So you guys keep your eyes out. And if I'm correct, aren't you uploading some video too?
I am currently editing some video. I have a couple different events that I attended the past couple weeks. So stay tuned to YouTube and you'll check out what I got recorded.
Yeah. So one of those events I know just happened, and I know that you had to rack your legs throughout the event. Mm-hmm. How you feeling after that run?
I'm good. I was a little sore, a little tight. Pause. But I was a little sore yesterday, but today I'm fine. I feel a little better. And if everybody's wondering out there what he's talking about, I ran a 5K. The insane inflatable 5K run. So that was a lot of fun.
Now, was it like water slide inflatable?
No,
or what?
No water slide. Water slide inflatable or anything like we did last year, which we did the Wipeout run, which was great and fantastic. Too bad they don't have it anymore. Yeah. But this one was mostly like a whole bunch of big bounce houses. So if you guys have ever been to a bounce house out there or ever did some type of inflatable obstacle indoor thing or whatever you might want to call it, but this is pretty much a little over 3 miles in maybe 10 to 12 obstacles with just bouncing and jumping and all kind of shenanigans. So that was great.
That's cool, man. That's cool. Yeah, I can't wait to see the video. I've seen a couple pictures from you and your friend that ran on that. But yeah, man, I can't wait to see pictures of that. I've actually been doing some kind of walk, run, jog training, whatever.
Yeah, that's right.
Weight training for this Ragnar event that's coming up.
Oh yeah.
The Ragnar run up on the Wasatch back front, up in the Wasatch Mountains. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I'm pretty sure the overall course that I'm running is about 10 or 12 miles, even though it's broken down to 3 different legs.
Right.
We have a team of 12, and we're going to be running, I think it's a little over 200 miles total. So this is going to be interesting.
Wow. Yeah, man, you got it. How much time do you have left for training?
Let's see. The event starts on the 17th of June, so probably a little over 2 weeks.
Ooh,
a little over 2 weeks. Man. So I'm excited, man. And the good thing is, everybody's sort of laid back. A lot of people from work, so everybody's sort of laid back. And, there's people who are walkers, people who are joggers, people who are runners, people who are jazzercisers, which will be me 100%.
Right.
And yeah, so, there's no real pressure on trying to finish fast.
Right.
And it's cool. We actually have two teams of 12 going from work. They took care of all the expenses. So thank them for that.
Cool.
And yeah, it's going to be crazy. And what's even wilder is the fact that here it's in the mountains, where it's a mountainous part of the country. So, we'll have some people more on flatlands like me, and we'll have some people going up, ascending and descending. And I think the highest ascent, I believe, is a couple thousand feet going up, and then about 17 or 1,800 feet going back down.
Wow.
I think I maybe personally only gained about 500 feet over the course of my 3 legs. So yeah, I definitely said I was not going to do the harder ascents or descents, but because either going up, I'd be scared to go up, scared I'm going to tip over going backwards, or, or going down, the same. So going forward. So, we have some people of all age ranges. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I want to see that footage. If you get some footage, man.
Oh yeah.
Definitely keep yourself hydrated too. I'd hate for you to pass out on that course. And
oh no, bro, they got that taken care of. There's gonna be so much food, snacks, and water, and everything else. I do not plan on it, and I purposely there's some parts of the course where you get no van help, from your teammates driving on the van, riding the van. And there's some portions where you get a lot or very little. And I definitely wanted to have portions of the course where I at least got some van help. So, the legs that I'm running, I know I'm going to get van help at least 2 of those legs. I still have to look back and see the third leg, the other leg that I don't know about. But yeah, man, I'm excited.
Cool.
After doing that wipeout run with you last year, not really having the opportunity to do anything else. As soon as I joined this company, I saw that they were part of it last year as a sponsor. And then I found out later that they actually, sponsored some teams. And then they even gave away a free sponsorship to a 12 team this year,
cool.
To a team of 12 this year. So
very cool.
Excited. Yeah, man. All right. Well, let's see here. Well, last episode we talked about Captain America Civil War, and we also added some people to the Hashtag Blackout Crew. All right. So the shout out I want to give this week, and the new additions to our Hashtag Blackout Crew will definitely be the ladies, Cassie and Mandy from the Mixed Feelings podcast. They gave us a really fun shout out last week. They're 2 mixed girls who are living in this crazy world, as they say, in this mixed up world, as they say. And they're bringing some pretty good times and some laughs. They talk about all kinds of stuff, pop culture. They have really funny segments all the time on Donald Trump. They had a funny episode about geese, about killer geese just out in nature while they walk or run and getting dive bombed and attacked by them. And then I think the latest episode, which they gave us a shout on, they were talking about mail order males, which is just a funny concept. So they actually added us to their Mixed Feelings Mafia, and it's just like people who listen to them, follow them. They gave us a couple of really nice nicknames. Jay, the Jigsaw Serafino, which means, and it's all fictional, obviously, but they said that I guess he goes out and cuts puzzle piece looking chunks out of people when he's trying to, handle his business.
But how do they know that's fictional?
Well, maybe there's something I don't know about you. I guess me. They had me as Jared the Diamond Cutter Jabroni, which apparently I was the leader of the Stormin' Mormons, which I'm not Mormon, but I guess it's sort of like a Mormon wannabe fight club or not wannabe fight club. And apparently I am the runner and the guy who basically takes people out. And they say I cut people with diamond nipples.
It actually sounds like an episode of South Park.
Man, that would be so funny. If anybody has ties to South Park out there, number 1, tap your love box. Number 2, ask them to make a Stormin' Mormon with somebody that cuts people in jigsaw puzzle shapes, and then also somebody with sharp diamond nipples that slice people up.
Or just make an episode of Underground Mormon Fight Club.
Right,
that would be
exactly.
great. That would be great all in itself.
Dang, tap your love box for some Underground Mormon Fight Club. Yeah, wow. Anyway, so big up to Cassie and Mandy. Thank you, ladies, very much for the shout out. Definitely go find them. They're on SoundCloud. They are on Podbean. They are on Stitcher, iTunes. They're on Google Play. The Mixed Feelings Podcast. They are also on Twitter as Mixed Feelings PC. They're on YouTube, just like us, where they do some of their shows. You can watch them. It's pretty funny. And then they're also on Facebook. They're on Instagram as Mixed Feelings Podcast, at Mixed Feelings Podcast. So definitely go out, check them out. They're very funny ladies. And yeah, so let's go ahead and get into this. So if you guys would like to be in the hashtag Blackout Crew, like Cassie and Mandy, and quite a few others, please tap your love box, leave us a message, send us an email. We'd love to hear from you, love to hear some stuff about you to connect, and share this with your friends for sure. So go ahead, tap that love box. All right, now let's get into the fun. So, so this week we definitely want to talk about some crazy quick hits, some stuff going on. So I got the first one. In a shocking twist of comic book events, Captain America, you know, the white bread, tried and true, nice dude, like the coolest superhero I believe out there. He reveals that he has been a Hydra agent all along in the comics. Now, is this bad for Marvel movies? Or Marvel movies? You know, are we able to trust in superhero good guys now? What do you think?
Man, that definitely was surprising. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I'm thinking in my memory bank to all the Captain America movies, and it's like, wow, they must have taught Captain America how to be a good actor too. You know how to pull that off for so many years. I'm curious to see what it's going to lead to. I really am.
I for some reason I heard this was just a comic book storyline, and it's not at this point. It's not going to go into the movies. Yeah.
Okay, well that's good because it'll be real confusing.
Yeah,
it would real confusing fast.
You know, if they, but I mean, like any television drama, if you will, at some point in time, you might see somebody go from good to bad or bad to good, and be playing the part the whole time. And I mean, if it,
even Black Widow, she was like a double agent. So maybe double agent. So and that was portrayed in the books and all kind of other things too. I'm not even sure. I don't know if they mentioned it. I think they did mention it in the film once, didn't they? I can't remember,
I believe they did.
Yeah,
I believe they did because in Ultron, I believe they showed like her childhood and how she was brought up. On one side as a in espionage, like bad guy, and then
right.
She turned good eventually. So yeah, man. So yeah, I don't know myself. I really hope that they change it back because Cap is my dude. I love Captain America, but hey, if not, it is what it is. What you got?
Well, right now I know the internet's been on fire the past week. The news stations have been on fire the past week. There's this mother that's bought a Chewbacca mask from Kohl's, I believe it was, and I'm sure everybody's seen it. Everybody's seen it. Chewie mom, Chewbacca mom. Watching those videos, it made me want to go to Kohl's and buy a Chewie mask just to wear to work. So I'm debating on doing that. How do you feel about that? Do you want to buy a Chewie mask now?
I seen the video. The lady, it's funny, and people were saying that she like fake laughed and stuff. I think
that was real.
I think it was real too. Like I think she got past the point of just the silly laugh, and she was just like the hysterical laugh, and she couldn't stop, which is hilarious, obviously, and yeah, I mean, and she I think has been really good sport about it because she was like, I had a dream when I was a little kid, something like that said that, something about me, I was going to be used to like help make somebody's day or change somebody's life. And I think, for a lot of people, that may have made their day. They might have just needed a laugh, on a day or at a time, whatever was going on with them. And I mean, just sort of happened. And, as viral videos do, they just sort of happen. So yeah, man, I think it's cool. I would love to go out and get that Chewie mask, but I wouldn't be able to, repeat the crazy laugh that she had.
Well, yeah, that was definitely a hysterical moment for her, and I'm surprised. Like I think it was oh crap, I forgot the store. Was it Kohl's that
Kohl's.
delivered a whole bunch of toys and stuff to her family as well?
Yeah, because I think that was like they gave her like a few $1,000s in like Kohl's gift cards and tons of rewards points. Like it was cool. So I mean, giving them free publicity, really,
Pretty much.
And I mean, that's a good way to pay it off. Like if every company out there, gave back to the people who just like made YouTube videos that sort of went viral or, have a lot of hits, that were positively spun, about their company. I think that would be great. Yeah, so that's a good way to give back for sure.
Right.
All right. Well, that's enough for our quick hits this week. If you guys have any, any news stories, any random stuff you want thoughts about, definitely shoot them over. Tap your love box. Let us know what you think about the quick hits, about everything that's going on, about Chewbacca Mom. We want to know. So now let's go ahead and talk about the main idea of this podcast this week.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about childhood games. All right. So
best time of my life.
I know, right? Yeah. So, I mean, Jay and I are both children of the 80s for the most part. That's most of our childhood is the 80s and 90s. Mm-hmm. And, so we go all the way back, to Atari and all those other video games.
Right. That's
we
right.
love those times. So, we just want to go through and talk about, some of the favorite stuff from our childhood, and those favorite things all revolve around video games.
Of course.
Man. So what kind of game systems did you have?
Oh, man. Mm-hmm. I could tell you favorite game systems as a kid. Mm-hmm. Atari 2600.
Yes, sir.
Then the NES came out.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got the SNES. So those three right there were my favorite growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, in that time, we did get a Commodore 64.
Oh, really?
We had one.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly can't remember what games we played because I think my brother was the main one playing on that thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the main one as a kid. Now, right now, I guess if you want to get into later in my teens, closer to 20s and whatnot,
mm-hmm.
like, of course, I had the PS1, PS2, then eventually got Xbox 360, Wii, and Xbox One. And, of
mm-hmm.
course, I have a gaming PC. But, yeah, as a 30-something-year-old right now, video games are still a big part of my life.
Yeah, that's so cool, man. Yeah, I mean, shoot, I go all the way back, just like you. Atari 2600 was my original, my OG, and then upgraded to the Nintendo. I had the Super NES. I eventually somehow got the Sega Genesis. I think it was a used, my dad picked up from a friend.
Okay.
I had one that I don't like to mention at all, the N64. I also had the Dreamcast, a couple games there, which was also secondhand. I got the PS1 with my brother and sister. At one point in time, I traded in one of my old systems. I think I traded in the Super Nintendo to get that.
Mm-hmm.
And they enjoyed that a lot. And then, let's see, Xbox 360, the Wii, and the Wii U. I don't have the One yet. I don't have any of the other PlayStations yet.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, I'd like to get them, but at this point, we're just playing Wii U like crazy right now. So and definitely, my two favorite systems, my three favorite systems, I have to say, 2600 Atari, Nintendo, the regular Nintendo, and then the Super Nintendo, just because they had some of my favorite games on there.
Right.
Man, I love them. What about now? Was there a console that you never got that you wanted?
I always wanted a Game Boy. I can remember back in like third grade. Third grade, I remember seeing the Game Boy and a kid playing Excite Bike on it. Mm-hmm. And that was the only reason why I wanted it, just to play Excite Bike and Tetris.
Yeah.
So a Game Boy is something I always wanted. A TurboGrafx 16.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that? I remember TurboGrafx 16.
That's on my list.
Because of Bonk's Adventures.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was like one of the first games that came out for the TurboGrafx 16.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, he had a big head, kind of like my son. But, that, and then there was another game called China Warrior. It was like a kind of like Mortal Kombat,
mm-hmm.
except for I think most of the characters were actual real life type characters.
Yeah, they looked real.
Yeah, they looked real. So that was like the only things I actually wanted. And I remember going to Toys R Us. Toys R Us used to have the games on display, mm-hmm. like the systems on display, and you could go in and test them out and whatever. So I always wanted to. I always loved the TurboGrafx 16, just the way it looked, just the way the graphics were. At that time they were great.
Yeah, see
So
I mean, I had to say, like, you're sort of lucky with that, with your Toys R Us having the TurboGrafx 16 out. I remember ours did not. And let's see, they had the Nintendo out for display. They had the Super NES. They had and then they had the Genesis as well. And then the Game Boy. And speaking of, I forgot to mention the Game Boy. I had the Game Boy.
Oh yeah.
And we, as you know, we took a lot of trips. Every summer we went to different part of the country, for like a church convention or whatever. So yeah, man, that Game Boy, when that thing eventually came out and I got to use that, it was like no more mini checkers, no more mini Connect Four, no more card games, and it was all Game Boy. So yeah, man, that is so funny. And yeah, the systems I wanted: 1, TurboGrafx 16, number 2, the Neo Geo. I wanted both of those, never got them. I saw people playing them, going to people's house. I had a chance to play them, but, never really had a chance to really get into them, but they always look so dang cool. And then some of the people's house that I would have wanted to go to play with, my parents like, nah, you ain't going over their house.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember, Sega Genesis. I didn't want a Sega Genesis, but I always liked to play it. My best friend had one at the time, but, I wasn't like tripping over not having one of myself for myself. So,
I mean, they had two of the better games. They had Alter Beast and Shinobi.
Yeah, Shinobi. Oh, dang.
Those two games.
Bring up Shinobi.
Right? Those two games were like two of the hottest games then. And they had Sonic on the Genesis as well. That's where Sonic first came out.
Yeah, that's where it originated.
So yeah, man. Cool. I definitely want people to tap their love box if any of this hits home as we're talking. This is our old school episode for sure.
Do you remember Tiger handheld games? It's like these little handheld games, maybe like $20, I think.
What did I have? I had Donkey Kong.
Dang, Donkey Kong. I remember having Ninja Gaiden, Double Dragon, and Tecmo Bowl.
Tecmo Bowl, that's my jam. And that was the one that goes beep, boop,
beep. Yep. That's right.
I remember
those are great.
Yeah,
oh, man.
I love those games. Yeah, I didn't even think about those. And it's funny because recently I saw one of those games. I think I saw a picture of that on Twitter, something like that. And I showed my son. He was like, what is that? I told him what it was. He's like, yeah, there's just one game on there. That's all you can play. It was so amazing. He was like, why is it just one game? He's like, I can play the Wii and have all the games on my controller. Yeah. Like, I guess you're right. So,
kids these days.
Yeah, right. But I mean, back in the day, having a video game that you didn't have to sit at home and play, was amazing. The only part that sucked was like, if you died and lost all your lives, then you have to start over. Again. If your batteries died and you were almost about to win.
I remember that.
There's like no save points. You know what I'm saying? No way to save it. So
I remember that.
Man, all right. Well, I mean, I know that eventually, later on we're going to do like a top 10, 5 and 5 from each of us. But what about, games that we loved? Like, I know there's, a bunch of games that we both had, with all the systems. Just name some games that you loved, and you can talk about a few of them. We'll talk about a few of them as we go.
So games that I love, Tecmo Bowl. Love Tecmo Bowl,
yes.
And the reason being for Tecmo Bowl is every Sunday after church, head over to my friend's house. My best friend, he had Tecmo Bowl, and we'd hold Tecmo Bowl tournaments. So it'd be me, him, all his older cousins, everybody just huddled around a TV, right? And everybody's like, I got next. So, and who, of course, what team you had to pick every time you got up to play.
What was the team you picked? I want to know.
Come on, man. The Raiders with Bo Jackson.
Oh, the Raiders.
Everybody wanted Bo. Everybody wanted the Raiders with Bo Jackson.
See, I either picked the Bears because they had Walter Payton and Mike Singletary, or I picked the Giants because they had my boy Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah.
Because I wanted that defense. You know what I'm saying? But the Raiders, the Raiders were cold.
Yeah. But let's see. What other games? NBA Jam. The arcade game, NBA Jam.
I was going to say that too.
Mortal Kombat, as well for arcade and when it went to console. Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah.
Double Dragon. And River City Ransom. Those were the games I love. I mean, and of course, there's like a million more that I love, but we don't have that kind of time.
Yeah, we sure don't got that time. Well, yeah, I mean, I'll tell you, two of my favorite games. One for sure was called Tank, and it was on the Atari 2600.
Ah, okay.
And I mean, one of the main reasons why I love that and I got into games is because my dad, he worked like random shift, rotating shifts. So, and he was home in the afternoons, and he didn't have to go to work, until the night, or if he worked in the morning, was home in the afternoon. I hung out with him and we played games. I mean, on that Atari, and Tank was a game that we loved to play together. There was a few other games, but that was the one that totally sticks out That one in Pong for sure.
Remember Pong?
Yeah, and then eventually, when I got the Nintendo, I remember that Christmas I got the Nintendo. I got like a bike and the Nintendo, on the same Christmas. And man, I'm telling you, man, it was like I almost exploded because I was so excited. It was insane.
Right.
But the 2 games that I got, I didn't get the Nintendo Master System with like Duck Hunt and Mario like everybody else got. Like all my friends, all my family had Mario. I didn't have Mario. The first 2 games I got, one was called Blaster Master.
Oh.
And then, and I always pissed off because I could never get past the 4th level.
Man.
But I loved it. And then the other one was called Gauntlet, which I think is like Gauntlet. A 35 level game. And I think the farthest I ever got was like level 23. But Gauntlet, I love that. It was just like a puzzle maze game,
Yes.
Let's see, what else did I love? Oh, man. Super Mario Brothers 3, because I played yours and I loved it. I never had it, but I loved it. I have it till I was older. Super Mario World, that was the first Mario I actually got, and that revolutionized, I think, a lot of games and all the Marios, really, when that was on the Super NES. Kung Fu on the regular Nintendo.
Yes,
Kung Fu. That was my jam. Paperboy 2 on the Super NES. Man, you don't know how many hours me and my brother and sister sat there trying to throw papers and hit
inside
people.
a little mailbox.
Throw it in the mailbox, throw it, jump over people, do tricks, like jump off of houses, break window. I love Paperboy 2. And all the Madden games, and in particular, Madden 97, just because I remember, Madden 97, like when it came out, I played it, and then like a couple months later, got it for Christmas maybe, and a couple months later, I had to go to the dentist to get my wisdom teeth taken out. And so, I remember coming home like in a wisdom teeth, in a anesthesia haze, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like my mouth full of gauze, and my dad pulling out Lazy Boy right over in front of the TV and turning that on and giving me the controller and be like, sit here and play and relax. And so I remember playing that and just like falling asleep and waking up during games, And I mean, like that was a game where you could score like 100 points in football, and it was unheard of. So
yeah,
you already outlined quite a few that I loved.
Do you remember NBA Live?
Yeah,
96. So I could remember back in the day, NBA Live 96. And of course, that 96-97 season was when Chicago Bulls went 72-10, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I remember getting that game, and I always played with Chicago.
Yeah.
And I don't think they had Jordan on the roster in the game.
They had a number 23 though, right?
I can't remember. I don't think so. I had to make my Jordan. So you could go and custom make your characters. I went ahead and custom made a Jordan. And I swear, my team, my Chicago Bulls team in NBA Live went 72-10.
Dang.
Just like the actual team. So that was pretty amazing for me back in the day.
You didn't do like me where my team was about to lose. I just turned it off and then like started.
No, I didn't do that. I did not do that,
man. I undefeated.
I couldn't tell you how many days I spent playing that game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just kept everything.
That's funny. I mean, I remember playing that at your house, and then one of my cousins in Houston, we played that all the time. He and his brother, man, we played like they loved all the basketball games and the Madden games. Like they were all about the sports games. So we played a lot of Live. We played a lot of Madden, Tecmo Bowl, obviously.
Right.
And we tore it up. But yeah, I remember they would always get the Bulls because they were big Michael Jordan fans.
Yeah.
And I would get anybody else because I hate Jordan. Because I was one of those kids who I didn't care if I got Jordan shoes. Because I didn't like Jordan. I was a Knicks fan, and he always killed my team. So, you know what I'm saying? So I was always out on Jordan. I do recognize him as, the greatest player that lived in my lifetime for sure. Played in my lifetime. But yeah, I don't know, man. I was just whatever. So yeah, when you would pick Jordan and the Bulls, I would always go Oppo and get, somebody else like the Knicks or like C-Web and the Warriors. So yeah, I'm trying to think. Do you remember, Burger Time?
I remember it. I can't remember playing it. I do remember the name, but I just cannot remember playing it and how it looked.
Burger Time was almost like, it sort of looked like Donkey Kong to a point where there's ladders and platforms everywhere. But it was weird because every section had a different layer of your hamburger. So the top layer was like the top bun. Then there was like lettuce, tomatoes, pickles, a patty, cheese. and the bottom button. And there were like all these different random, obstacles and baddies, bad guys coming around trying to kill you.
Right.
And I remember initially my aunt, one of my aunts, old Aunt Terry, she, not saying old Aunt Terry, but my Aunt Terry, she had like this compact computer because she worked for Compaq. It looked like like your CPU unit on a desktop computer, but the front flipped open and there was a screen in there. There was a place for floppy disk, and then the keyboard popped out, and I would play Burger Time. And Oregon Trail.
I remember playing that in like computer class back in like 7th grade.
Oh man, that was so fun. So many times. And then speaking of Baylor and Waco earlier, yeah, man, I was playing the Oregon Trail in a library in school when all of a sudden the librarian turned on the news and the TV, and it was the Branch Davidian compound and David Koresh, lighting on fire. And I was like, what is that? And I was like, hold on, I need to ford the river. So I went ahead and forded the river. Needless to say, I don't think I ever beat Oregon Trail and got to Oregon, but hey,
right.
It was fun. But yeah, man, trying to remember what other games we trying to remember right now?
Oh man.
Let's see here. What other games did you love?
I loved Kid Icarus.
Oh yeah, Icarus, yeah.
Yeah, but I couldn't beat it. I don't even think I got past like the second level.
Yeah.
But I just love to play it. I don't know why, but I just love to play it. God, what else? There was a lot. Final Fight. I think that was for PlayStation.
Final Fight. Okay.
PlayStation 1. Yeah. Hagar and Cody. Mm-hmm. Those are the two main characters, man, and I love that game. I used to always play that. I never beat it. My brother beat it. I could get to the final boss. I just could not beat the final boss. But my brother, he beat it. Let's see, what else?
Dude, Pac-Man, Galaga.
Yeah, of course, the classic arcade games and first gen like NES system game. Zelda, like you said. Wow,
did you ever beat
so
Zelda?
many. I'm trying to think.
Golden cartridge.
That was the Zelda part. Was that part 2?
I thought part 1 had the golden cartridge.
Was it part 1? Maybe.
Yeah.
I think both. Maybe both of them did.
Okay.
Because I'm thinking 2 had the golden cartridge. I don't know.
Anybody knows out there which Zelda had the golden cartridge, please leave us a message right now on SoundCloud. Let us know.
Mm-hmm.
Let us know.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there was so many games, man. It's like I was thinking about Little Nemo. And, of course, Little Nemo, the Dream Master. That was a great game.
Yeah, I remember that. You remember Echo the Dolphin?
Yeah, man. I remember
like
that.
it, but I thought it was.
I remember that. Did you guys used to rent games?
Oh yeah, man. Best Buy and then all the other, or not Best Buy, but Blockbuster Video.
Yeah.
And all those other random, video stores. Yeah, man. We used to rent like crazy.
Yeah. Before there was a Blockbuster Video in my town, there was a little corner store called AB Grocery Shop. It was just this little corner store in the middle of the hood, right?
Uh-huh.
You walk up in there, it's all shady lighting and everything like that, man. You feel like somebody's coming to rob the place. And you walk to the back and there's this little section of just VHS movies and video games, man. And it's like every Friday my mom would take me there. I'd get the game for like 2 days. And man, that would be like the best time of my life, man.
That's so funny.
I didn't even need to buy the game. I just needed to rent it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the best time. And then I remember when at first, rentals, it's so funny because now, people just straight up stream something from everywhere. Netflix, Hulu, from YouTube and all the other sites. And then, and then also, they have the game Netflix, Gamefly. Shout out to Gamefly and Netflix. Please sponsor us, thanks. But you could just get it from anywhere. Then you had to go, and the rental was like a night, so you would go and get it for one night, play it as much as you want, the game or the movie, watch it once, and then you had to return it the next day. And then I remember, I do distinctly remember a couple times when our rental place that was nearby, which was also before Blockbuster, they went from one night to 3 nights, and they went from just 3 nights to 7 nights. Man, it was lit. I tell you what, man. I was like, I wanted to rent everything. You know what I'm saying? But, my mom and dad, squashed that a little bit because they're like, man, you can't play all that, even if you have 7 days. So you just got to pace yourself. So, yeah, I definitely remember that. And the cool part, because, we go to the rental place, and right next door, there's a Subway. So like the Subway. So like if I want my dad, we would go rent a game, then go over to Subway and get a cold cut combo. So cool. Yeah, so that was cool. I'm trying to think. Let's see here. Okay, so what about some games you didn't like? What about games you hated?
Man, I'm gonna tell you 2 games that I just completely hated, but I kept wanting to play them. Top Gun and Jaws.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I can tell you. Yeah, Top Gun. I don't know, man. I just did not like that game. A good friend of mine had it, along with that Nintendo track and field.
Yeah.
Whole deal. Yeah, that was complete random thought. But yeah, Top Gun, man. I go over there and I try to play it as much as I can. I could not land on the freaking deck of that carrier, that aircraft carrier. I always hit the front, boom, explode. So that's I just, man, screw that game.
And then Jaws, you didn't like Jaws?
Jaws, I didn't like Jaws, man. Even though I could tell you this one time I did rent Jaws, and I kept it for like 2 weeks. So that was a big late fee on that one. I completely forgot I had it, but I just was playing it over and over.
And that was on the Nintendo?
That was on the Nintendo, and I don't know why, I just did not like that game, but I just kept getting drawn to it to try to play it to figure out if I could beat it.
Yeah.
It's good, but it just completely, I don't know. I don't think I would ever revisit that game just to play. But those are the only 2 that came to mind. Dude. I can't say there was more because I probably just didn't even want to give my time to anything that I didn't like from an initial playing. But I don't know. What about you? I'm sure you got quite a few on your list.
Well, I mean, there's a couple that I didn't like for sure, just for a specific reason, like 10-Yard Fight. I thought it was stupid. It was a knockoff of Tecmo Bowl, so I just didn't like it because it was like the Bolex of video games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the
wasn't
Faux
a Rolex. It was a Bolex. It wasn't a GoPro. It was a Faux Pro, which is the type of camera that I have. So that fisheye works though, right? It works.
Yeah.
So but 10-Yard Fight sucked. RC Pro-Am. You remember RC Pro-Am?
Oh, I love that game, man. Don't tell me you hated it. Oh, dude, I loved it. Hold on.
Stop it. Now, getting back to RC Pro-Am, I didn't like it because I could never control it. I mean, you know how much I love racing games, like Need for Speed Underground, that Lil Jon from the windows to the walls.
Oh, yeah, boy.
Yeah, I love that. I love racing games. I love all kinds of racing games, but RC Pro-Am, I couldn't get into it, man. I mean, pole position was my jam, but RC Pro-Am, bruh, I hated it. I couldn't get the controls right. So that's why I hated it. And then let me tell you something. Okay, so N64, the Nintendo 64 has one of the greatest games in the history of games because I think it revolutionized the first-person shooter with 007 GoldenEye, right? But I didn't have that game. My friends had that game when I got to college, and that's why I fell in love with it. But I bought the N64 the Friday that it came out. I went out there, picked it up. It came with, Super Mario 64. Man, I beat Super Mario 64 in a day and a half. Right. And I was so pissed off. I was like, man, this is garbage. I didn't like the controller shape. I didn't like, Mario 64 was just trash. Like, I liked, Super Mario World, and I was expecting, something great from the 64 because obviously they'd been touting it so much, and I thought it was garbage. So I returned it. But then when I got to college, like I said, one of my homeboys, shout out to John, and Jeff, we call ourselves the Oreos because there was 2 black dudes and 1 white dude, and we'd walk around, black, white, black. It was so funny.
Right.
And that's how the ladies knew us too. Hey, ladies, what's up? Let's see. I got my lady though. Let's see. So they had the 64, and they whipped out GoldenEye, and I was like, eh. And then all of a sudden, throwing knives, golden gun, sniper rifle, I was hooked. But before that, I was totally out on the 64. So, those are my games. That's what I didn't like. So,
dang, RC Pro, man, I'm going to have to get that for my Nintendo now that you said it.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to try and find it, man.
Yeah.
God darn.
So,
Super Off-Road. I forgot to mention that for a game I loved. I love Super Off-Road.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
Yes.
All right. Anyway.
Speaking of GoldenEye, let's see what else. Other old school game. I mean, Halo. All the Halo series. You know, that's a little new gen. You know,
of course.
Next gen. I sort of slept on Halo though. That was the time like when we we lived together at the apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to the east side of Fort Worth. Yeah, man. We
Woodhaven.
Right? Woodhaven. And then we go to Lionel's house. Homeboy Lionel's house. Shout out Lionel. And we would play, it'd be like a group of us, like 6, 8, 10. I don't know how many people sometimes.
Yeah.
And we would play the original Halo on the Xbox. And, I didn't know anything about it till I started playing that. And dude, like, it just hooked us.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was definitely a game that we love. And obviously Halo took that first person shooter, to another level that Splinter Cell hadn't done, that, Rainbow Six, they really hadn't done it. They done it in their own way, but not like Halo did. So, yeah, man. That was just going back to other games that we love, man. Let's see here. So, who was like one of your favorite game characters?
Oh man, let's see. Ratchet from Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, okay.
He was always a cool character, man. I always loved him. I don't know if you ever played the games or familiar with it.
Yeah, I played a little bit. I never had.
Yeah, but I always loved. He was just I think the game itself made the character likable because he has all these different types of weapons, and I think he's like a mechanic and all this kind of stuff. So he was a cool character. Bonk from Bonk's Adventures.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, it's just because his head reminds me of
like
my son's head, And Mega Man. Mega Man was a great character. I always loved Mega Man.
Yeah.
I love the whole series of him and everything that Mega Man did. Even the cartoon. Was there a cartoon? Yeah, I think there was a cartoon back in the day. I think it came on with.
Was he part of Captain N? Like that cartoon series?
I think he was either part of Captain N or he was part of the Super Mario Brothers Super Show. Okay. I can't remember exactly. But anyway, Mega Man. And then this last person always got hate.
Uh-huh.
Everybody hated on this dude. And I think he's cooler than his brother, Luigi Mario.
Ooh.
Luigi Mario was great. I loved him. I don't care what anybody says. Luigi Mario is my dude.
Luigi Mario? You mean Luigi on Mario?
No.
Or Mario
Mario Brothers last name.
That is it for part 1, peeps. Stay tuned.